Good evening. As if it's strange, we're not having a retreat. We're past the Holy Week, but there is a new project that I thought would help many persons who want to prepare worthily, properly, and I would say with impact for the next generation, the 500th anniversary of the gift of our Catholic faith. So once a week, for the coming 52 weeks starting now, I'll try to be on air, have this live stream on a typical day like Monday evening at 6 p.m. I will still get your reactions. I will ask the host at the end of the program to put my Facebook account or my email live stream so that you can comment so that you can say what is the better time, except Wednesday because we have a Bible study in the evening starting at 6, moves at about 7:30 even. So I chose this time of Monday because it still fits in the first week of this 52 weeks. Let's say a little bit of prayer. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. We thank you, good Lord, our dear Father, for sending us your Son 500 years ago, nearly 499 years ago. That together with the expedition of Spain through its Captain Magellan, not only did they look for spices, but they found them, but they found the Filipinos open to receive the faith. And so on April 14, 1521, we brought these people and made us ready to accept the first baptism in Cebu. As we are about to arrive at the 500th anniversary in these 52 weeks, good Father, help us to have a more open heart, but above all, a ready spirit to share the faith, not just the word. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Our Lady, Barangay Sang Birhen, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. My dear brothers and sisters, let me first share with you a text of scripture, and that comes from so you can see the first slide, the introductory slide, what is the main title of this program. Grateful for the gift of faith, for the gift of Catholic faith, passing it on to the next generation. Is the slide coming out? Yeah. So we have a title page to this, and it's named as a program of every week you will see this title page. This is a test run actually, but hopefully it will become okay. Just have a bit of patience in a while. I'd like to read the text, which could segue later. And the text is coming from Genesis chapter 2, verses 15 to 25. Yahweh took the man and settled him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate and take care of it. Then Yahweh God gave the man this command: you are free to eat of all the trees in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you are not to eat. For the day you eat of that, you are doomed to die. Yahweh God said, it is not right that the man should be alone. I shall make him a helper. And so from the soil Yahweh God fashioned all the wild animals and all the birds of the air of heaven. These he brought to the man to see what he would call them. Each one was to bear the name the man would give it. The man gave names to all the cattle, all the birds of heaven, all the wild animals. But no helper suitable for the man was found for him. Then Yahweh God made the man fall into a deep sleep, and while he was asleep, he took one of his ribs and closed the flesh up again for him. Yahweh God fashioned the rib he had taken from the man into a woman and brought her to the man. The man said, "This one at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She is to be called woman because she was taken from man." That is why a man leaves his father and mother and becomes attached to his wife, and they become one flesh. Now, both of them were naked, the man and his wife, but they felt no shame before each other. So thank you. You have now on your screen the full screen as the reading that I just made. This is a New American version. I read from the New Jerusalem Bible. To the administrator, Bea, put the first slide. I just want to introduce to you um, the title page of our series. Yes. So our series is actually grateful for the Catholic faith, passing it on to the next generation. This will one. So let us divide the text into three parts. As you can see, there are three paragraphs. One bigger and more than the second, and then the third just simply a sentence. Let's go to the first paragraph. What could be the reflection on this? St. John Paul II reflected on these origins of humanity. That's Genesis 2, no? According to our Catholic faith. But of course, the Jewish faith also believes in this page in a way that hits the vital nerve of the sacrament of matrimony, which a Catholic couple made in front of God. This saintly pope began by seeing the original man as a being in solitude. There was no one like him among the creatures made by God. While he was tilling the soil like nobody else, and then even had animals. So the next slide would show that God would even form animals when he felt that it's not good for man to be alone. So the next slide tells us that this man is in a kind of original, next point, solitude. And it is not good for man to be alone. In a way, this original solitude never left our human experience. While we are surrounded with beautiful things and possessions, we realize that there is nothing of these compared to us. In Genesis 1, we were made in the image and the likeness of God. In Genesis 2, God breathed his spirit into us. And so there is no other creature, even angelic, can wear proud that distinction, that we are image and likeness of God. He breathed his spirit into our nostrils. So being alone is something we all need to give time to. Otherwise, we can be caught up in such the hustle and the bustle of our frenetic society. Isn't this COVID-19 allowing us to have this golden opportunity to recognize in our solitude our human uniqueness, different from the various things we sometimes think even to be greater than our own value in the sight of the Creator? Many couples need also that bit of time and space to find out their real worth for each other. So this is the meaning of the original solitude as Pope John Paul said it. So now, So now, in the next slide, you will find out he cast the lonesome man into a deep sleep. And then from the side of this human person, verse 23 of the same text, it says the exciting feeling that the lonesome man experienced. It was something he could not contain. He burst out into voila expression. This one at last is bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called woman, for out of her man this one has been taken. Brothers and sisters, marriages, they say, are made in heaven. But the experience of couples tell us a good marriage comes from a long search of a genuinely matched partner. In many wedding speeches I've heard, man or wife exclaims in public, the time each of them fell to the bone, that this is the man, this is the woman. And John Paul calls this couple exhilaration, as in the next slide, as original unity. Man and wife are unique individuals, but in terms of sentiments, in terms of sentiments for each other, they are one. Marriage to become long-lasting requires that the partners recognize and emphasize more what is common and therefore what binds them rather than the differences that seem to divide them. I say seem because even differences can make marriage richer in quality. Uniformity is not the sign of equality or unity. Equality is best found in complementarity. And complementarity, as you know it, is never heaven sent. It is work in progress. Now, a last word on this biblical passage, meant for couples to contemplate more often, especially during their anniversaries. It is found in verse 25. It's there on your screen. It ended like this, chapter 2. The man and his wife were both naked, yet they felt ashamed. The Holy Father, John Paul II, called this original experience of the first human couple as original nakedness. Yes, walking naked in public is taboo. So that when men and women walk around with very little clothes or no clothes, they are considered by civilized people as tribal, uncivilized, or even savage. From the boondocks, as some would exclaim. However, for John Paul II, not having shame despite being naked speaks of a core truth about being human. The value of the human person does not lie in his or her possessions, like wearing a Rolex watch, carrying a Louis Vuitton bag, having a chauffeur-driven stretch limousine, owning sums of money stashed in an offshore bank, so on, so forth. You can stretch your imagination about dream homes, dream vacations and cruises, dream status in society. The Gospel of Matthew states, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but then suffers the loss of his soul? Or the Gospel of Luke regarding that rich farm owner who had a bumper crop and thought of enlarging the bins and of carousing, celebrating for his wealth, but only to find out that that very night he would be summoned before the judgment seat of God. So then, in what does the purpose of being a couple consist in? How would you coin a word that you can say, we have a successful married life? Naked, I came from my mother's womb. Naked, will I be buried in my tomb? Is an appropriate description of this blessed human nakedness. Couples in this COVID-19 pandemic realize the essential things needed, and they are not quantifiable. Health, eating together as a family, quality time to talk with each other, moments of gathering the whole family or, or being together before a live stream Eucharist, or having a warmer relationship with others, with each other, with their children, or even a better treatment of their kasambahay. One can have lots of money, but the supply from the farms that do not reach the city, nor imported goods that do not arrive, the grocery shelves remain empty. Many households now value the intangibles of sharing depending on someone else, the caregiving of frontliners for their sick relatives whom they cannot even come near to. The sacrament of matrimony is in the order of the divine, in the eternal design of the Father, because authentic relationships of husband and wife need to respect each other's uniqueness, solitude, to value each other's richness, unity, and to learn together how to discern what are real needs from simply peripherals, nakedness. Thank you, brothers and sisters. This is the first of the 52 weeks, and our administrator might want to place now on the screen what is the, well, you can now log into my Facebook account and you can place in my email your comments for improvement. And I have been seeking for many other topics that I have not yet developed. I've only developed for 1 month, 5 topics. So I've solicited many laymen and laywomen, priests, even bishops, if they'd like to write the reflection, and I will read it for them, or I will tweak it and put it together with a whole framework. It is very much welcome. So may I ask you, my dear brothers and sisters, to please, let's put this project as not a single person giving it. It would be a kind of community-based project. You know, the first slide that I showed you comes from Hong Kong. The idea was brought by the father to her daughter, Isis Manuel, and Isis, in just about 20 minutes, gave me a beautiful cover for the so-called preparation of 500 years. That's done by a young woman, not even maybe 20 above years old. She's now in college, and she gave us this beautiful um, teaser. So anytime you see this, you know it is about this program. Thank you. If you would want to share with me your comments now, it's 6:20. It's supposed to be just a 15-minute program, but being the first time we run it, we exceeded a bit of 5 minutes. God bless. And may I bless you for this evening, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.